welcome to the LGBTQ review. We're James with Beth, and every week we take a look at some LGBTQIA+ content. This week we're looking at appropriate behaviour.
I'm looking for the grown-up underwear of a woman in charge of her sexuality and not afraid of change. I'm Shirin.
What is that, Libyan, Armenian?
Iranian.
Iranian, wow. Tell me, what is the scene like in Tehran?
I spend most of my time in Iran watching Disney videos with my grandmother while she entangles jewelry. This is John Francis. John, show her your chest tattoo. I'm like one bad romantic encounter away from moving to France and changing my identity.
What are you doing out here?
Social anxiety?
Just having trouble dealing with like Brooklyn parties and everyone talking about their Kickstarter campaigns. And did you see that guy with the waxed Dali mustache?
I hate so many things too.
They have no idea you're bisexual?
They know, I know they know.
Why is there only one bed?
It's European. Also in the movie Beaches, these two best friends shared a bed and it was very inexpensive.
Appropriate Behaviour is the British-produced comedy set in New York City, which premiered at the 2014 Sundance Film Festival. Written and directed by Desiree Akhavan, this was her feature directorial debut. She has gone on to make The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which we reviewed previously, and the great Channel 4 TV series The Bisexual, which is featured in our recommendation videos. Akhavan also stars in Appropriate Behaviour as Shirin, a American Persian bisexual living in New York and dealing with post-breakup stuff.
It's based on Slope, which is a web series about a couple's breakup, and each episode is like a kind of simple setup. One I remember is on a park bench, and it's just like one shot kind of thing. The cast, I've got like 4 key people that I've written down. Obviously, Desiree, who writes, directs, and stars in it. She was in Girls. She was in Flowers, which is great. Maxine, played by Rebecca Henderson, who was in Russian Doll. Scott Adsit as Ken. I know him from like 30 Rock and lots of like small comedy roles in films and TV.
She has no goals or aspirations.
I think she has self-esteem issues.
Yeah, no kidding.
I can tie a cherry stem into a knot with my tongue.
I saw an interview with her when she was talking about looking at the scenes that they'd shot and being like, would Noah Baumbach like this scene? That I think this was a good scene. I mean, I'm glad that she thought that because it's obviously made the film what it is, but I would argue she's doing something more interesting than what he's doing.
When she's like referencing other people in 2015, like from the interviews and stuff, it's weird when she's saying about liking other people's work or saying, oh, this is like an inspiration, because I think her work is better than the people that she's referencing all the time.
Yeah.
When it says about like Louis C.K. or like Sarah Silverman and stuff, like I like her stuff so much more. I think it's like so much stronger. But
so this is like one of the few films that has a bisexual protagonist that says that they're bisexual. In my mind, this and Princess Sid are like the best for bisexual representation of the films that we've seen. What I wanted to say was peak bisexual, but I stopped myself.
No, I agree with that completely.
You don't often get to see like an established bisexual character.
I think also just having the director talk about it quite a lot and like it be very purposeful rather than it just being, as you said, it's like it's said. It's weird to be like, oh, they actually said bisexual in the film and the character said it about themselves, because I think it's always left up to the audience to read into that. I do understand it when like characters don't try to categorize themselves or like put a label on themselves. That makes absolutely, all the sense in the world. But it's also important to have it be said. Yeah. What did you think of the coming out scene? Do you think it was hopeful or like shit? Because it's framed as like kind of hopeful throughout the whole film. They're like, oh, they know, but they're waiting for me to say.
I don't know. Sad. Obviously, it's sad, and it's. I don't know. I can't talk about it. Is that good? Is that good for this video? Watching it, it was horribly familiar, and then sort of okay. If she was real, maybe in 5 years' time, it wouldn't matter anymore.
You think there are many,
Maybe I've inserted myself into this plot.
do you think there are many coming out scenes for bisexuals on screen? Because I think that's an interesting question to have whilst you watch it. Because I think we talked about coming out scenes before and whether like it's good or bad to have them in sometimes. Do you think it would have been better to not have that in?
What, and her just not be out to her parents?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, either have it like that or have the scene differently, or like that she doesn't come out. Like, you just see him so often, it becomes a case of like, is it better or worse to have them in? I think definitely because it's like so few and far between to have bisexual representation on screen, it's good to have them in. But also it's like, I don't know. Those and sex scenes are the two things that we are always seeing in these films.
I think it's good in general. I think this film is different because she's already out to everybody else. It's just her family, and that's caught up in their cultural background more than anything else in the film. But it's a perspective that isn't shown in film a lot. So I think that that's important and good to see on screen. In general, I would like to see more films without coming out scenes.
What did you think of sex scenes in this film? Because there's a few of them. We should have like a scale, some sort of like.
We should. A sexy scale.
Where it's like, what's the best sex scene and the worst kind of sex scene?
I think Desiree Akhavan is particularly good at shooting sex scenes. I think that starts post this film. They're not bad, but her other ones are like astonishingly good.
I do remember talking about one in Miseducation for ages.
There's a scene in The Bisexual where she has a wank, and it's like the best wank I've ever seen on television. Why are all the people in the movie into the same kind of flirting? That annoyed me a bit, because she just does the same kind of flirting with everyone, and everybody is automatically on board and like fluent in it.
Yeah, it's like that kind of like they're both doing a bit with each other, flirting. Like I'm a bit, and then you have to like join my bit and then like get involved. And if you can do that, if you can like improv at like level 1, we'll be fine.
And everybody can.
I will rate this film 4.5 burnt scarves.
I will rate it 4.5. In the end, not quite. Chekhov's dildos. And that's a callback, I think, to something. I definitely rated something that before.
I knew you were going to rate the dildo. I just knew it. So
it's because it's at the beginning, and it seems like it's going to be a thing, and then you never see it again. It's like the anti-Chekhov dildo. If you have any thoughts on appropriate behaviour, leave them in the comments below. And if you have any recommendations for films or TV or podcasts or music or anything, then leave them in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at LGBTQ_review. Hit like and subscribe on this video to get all of our latest updates.
It sounded like you said hate like if you hate it.
Hate it. Hate like it.